Okay, now does everybody know how to get into, you've gotten into Command and have played around in there a little bit as far as that goes?
Yes.
Let me, all right. Let's see what that is. I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to go ahead and start, we'll get out of this too. I was doing something in there. Well, hang on a second. Stop sharing for a second. I've got to clean up the screen here. Alrighty. Get into Command and see if it works better than it did yesterday. I was trying to get in Designs yesterday and fool around some more, and it was giving me problems. So I found a workaround, and we can try to use that if this doesn't work. But hang on a second. Let me get back in here and share the screen again. Okay. So you should see my Command dashboard. And we're going to play around here in Designs. So I'm going to skip over here to Designs and see if it'll let me do what I want it to do. Now, when you first get into Designs, it'll show you, it goes to My Design Templates. And if you haven't gotten in here, you might have some other language. I've been playing around in it for a while. So you might have other language. But to start a design of any kind or to start anything, you go over here to this little teal plus button and click on it, and we're going to pick something, either social or print for right now. So we'll do a social and say next. And then when we get into next, it should bring up KW templates as well as My Designs. So when you're in the template section, you can pick whatever type of thing you're wanting to do: listings, buyer, lead generation, business basics, leadership. Business basics is social branding and that type of thing. So you can create a Facebook page header. There's a Twitter cover, LinkedIn cover, Facebook covers. They come pre-designed and ready for you to upload to Facebook, your Facebook page as a cover. So you can come in here and edit them. And then use it, save it, and use it as a Facebook cover. Does everybody have a Facebook page, a business page?
Yes.
Show of voices. Okay.
Yes.
So if I wanted to change this one per se, you just click the use, and it'll open up that template, and then we can change it around and use it. So you can take the sun out if you want to, or if you just want to change your doing business as name for something simple. They always have the little graphic here for doing business as a generic one, but you want to put yours in there. Now to where the logos they reside is over here on the left hand side. You'll see if I go to logos, that's my library of logos, and I updated them in my settings for Command. So I'm going to pick this one. Yep. So I'm going to pick this one. So if you're here, when you click on something, you want to change it. The little pull out buttons show up over here. The little, so that you can change the size of it. Make it bigger or smaller or whatnot, and you can move it around to where you want to put it. So those buttons have to be showing. And then when you want to replace that image with something else, you come up here and there's a little circular thing which is called replace logo. So look for the little circular image, and then it'll replace the logo in the spot that it was in, and you can resize it and drag it around. So if I want that to be my my Facebook header, then I can, if I like it, and I can change the pictures if you want to, but this one's kind of fun, so I think I'll save it. So you can either click done or you can click download, download, done just saves it, but download lets you grab the JPEG of it. You don't want to do PDF, but you want to do either PNG or JPEG for an image. So we'll just pick JPEG here and start download. And it takes a couple of minutes, but then you'll see it download over here to your downloads folder or wherever your downloads are defaulted to. What it does for me is it puts it into the photos section, and then I have to save it again. So I'm going to say save as, and I'll rename it because it has this gobbledygook in here that you want to rename it to so you can find it. So I'm going to rename this as business Facebook page header 1. And I'm going to save it where I normally keep my Keller Williams stuff. Some social images there in here. So I'm going to save it in there. And then when you go to your Facebook page, let's get out of that. Oh, this thing. I'm going to go to my Facebook business page. Oops. And I'm going to grab my page.
Okay.
Open it.
Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, maybe. Okay.
Somebody's talking on the phone. So here's my business header right here, and I can change it. I can change the cover.
Well, you take care of that little baby. You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
If you're on the phone, if you could mute yourself while you're on the phone, it would help. Because we hear all your conversations. Okay, so here's I can change this photo. So where did I put it? Cover photos. Where's the thingy to share it, to change it? Oops. Okay, then choose from photos. So I'm going to have to go to my uploads or timeline photos, photo albums. That's not going to be it. There's another thing in here to change from. Hang on a second. Change your cover, choose from videos, upload photo. There we go. So I'm going to find it where I had it in here, and I'm going to upload it. So it was in social. Where's my social things? It's not in alphabetical order. Here it is. So here was the new header image. So I'm going to drag it if I want to reposition it a little bit so that this shows up a little bit more. And I can hit save. So now I have a new branded header. And you can also, if you wanted to change your cover, you could also make it a slideshow. So you can do this on your own time, but there's a little section here you can add other ones. So if I wanted to go back and add another photo in there, or several of those headers to have them do a slideshow, it'll rotate. So all you do is you go up here and choose from photos or upload photo. Do the same thing you did, but choose a different header, like say that other one of the other KW ones. So you've got lots of different options for changing your Facebook look by going in designs and helping out with that. You can also get let's go back out of here. Let's say I'm done. And when you hit done, it automatically saves to your templates. So here's the latest one. If you want to go in here and change any of them, and just click on them and it'll open up and you can change them. Okay, so that's one thing we can do with Facebook anyway. But if you're trying to you can also design things that are not templated. So if you go into design templates here and you want to pick another one, let's say you want to do a Facebook post with an image that you had that was just interesting. call it here next. So we're opening up another. Takes Command a few minutes or a few seconds to open up. You can go to My Designs. So you can create, instead of one of the templates, you can create a brand new blank template from scratch. So if you hit Start, it'll ask you if you want to do it for Facebook or Instagram or Twitter so that it'll standardize the size for you, or you can pick a custom size. So just to play with this, we'll pick a custom size, and I'm going to say 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels just to get a square. And hit the Create button. And hopefully it'll let me do it. Yesterday it wouldn't let me. And then from here, once you get into here, once it kind of opens itself up, then you'll come up with a blank screen, and you can do whatever you want in that blank screen. I'll show you a couple of ideas for how to manipulate just a blank one just out of creativity. Well, it's acting like it's not going to open. Okay, there, I guess it's right there. So let's say I want to have a background image on this blank thing. So if I go to Images and I hit Add, and let's say I just want to, I want to use a company image, let's do a neighborhood lifestyle activity or something, or neighborhoods. Let's say I want to do a neighborhood. So we pick neighborhoods, and there's a whole lot of, interesting, pretty little pictures of people doing fun things in a neighborhood. And let's say I want to advertise my app. So we'll use this one. We'll find a nice neighborhood picture. Let's say this one. And this little grid says use this background, or you can just add the image, use the image, and it'll just stick the image up here in a smaller size. But I want to use this as a background. So I'm going to say use this background. And here's an image of somebody walking past a house. So something fun you can do is you can add shapes and then texturize them or color them. So let's say I want to add a shape. Let's say I want to add a rectangle. So you can put the rectangle wherever you want it. You can resize it. Oh, I didn't really want that one. Let me undo that. Oops. And if you got something in there twice, you can just click on it and delete it. Let's say I want to change this out and make, I want to add a little background on the bottom of this, but I don't want it to be gray. I'll change colors. I'll cover up the bottom here. And you can go up here and change the opacity of your shape. So I wanted to make this a little lighter. See, I want to have the dog too. And I want to change it to KW red. So I'm going to go up here to one of these other colors, click on it, and say apply. So now it makes it this red color. And I didn't cover up the whole screen, so I'll pull it out. And then I want to add a little text to that. So we come over here to the text button. And if you click My Library, it has some text in here that you've used other places or that's in your marketing profile. And you can grab some of that, or you can create your own. So I'm going to add new. And then it lets me pick the size. So let's say subtitle. If you click subtitle, it'll pop a subtitle in here that's just black. So I'm going to move that down here. And let's say I want to make it white. So I can come up here and make a fill color, make the subtitle white. I can actually change the size of the whole box. If I click on it, oh, there it goes. And you see it brings up the edges and everything. So I want to make it like a smaller subtitle, but I still want it to be, I want to have more room. And you can scooch it out here. Double click on it, and then you can highlight it and say, download my app today. See, I want to make this smaller too. There's an undo button up here. So the last thing you did, you can undo. So if I want to make this, now I want to grab my app, the link to my app, and so where did I put the link to the app? I have it someplace. Hang on a second. I know I downloaded it from my, I sent it to myself, so I have it in here. https kwri.app, and then it has app.link. Then it has KW2 JRZI J or JF. It's too big, so I want to make that smaller, that line smaller. So I have to come in here and grab it. And bring it down a peg or two. You can resize the text here. So if I resized it a little bit small, so let's say I want to make it 38 points or something, a little bit more in keeping with the one on top, but not quite as big. There we go. So there's a link to my app right there. And I want to put in another graphic. Let's say I want to put in an image. In my logos in my images in my library, it has some of my pictures and stuff. So if I want to add my photo here, my agent photo, I can just click on it and then it'll pop in as that size. I can resize it, stick it down here. Okay, and then if I wanted to get my logo, I could stick that in there. Oops, I don't want to make it a background. What do? Undo it. Here we go. Grab and just add the image in here, and then I can resize it however I want to resize it and put it wherever I want to put it. And let's see, there are other, if you come up, you scroll up on this little button there are other sections where you can find other folders where you can find other things. And app images, they have images of your app on the phone. So if I want to grab one of those, I can say put that in here, download my app today, or we can put it over here if we want to. See that? Do you have any questions so far about what I just did? Anybody? So once I'm done with the design and I like it, then I'm going to hit the download button and I'm going to grab it as a JPEG. So I'm going to start the download. And then it'll show up over here in my left-hand side, usually in my downloads section of my page. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and then click done. And it'll pop me back over to my design templates and show me that it's in there. So there's lots of different kinds of things you can do, like in design in templates. I'll show you a few of the others that they have. I have to go to next in order to, add one in order to find the KW templates that are already there. So there's lots of different my app templates, and this is just Instagram, but KW apps for so you can check out some of those if you want to. These look like they're more Instagram. Yeah, they're Instagram sized. They're already, when it says it's for whatever platform, they've already pre-sized it for the uniformity. So you don't have to go in and resize it for the platform, which is helpful. And then if we go into like listings for sale, it shows you all the different, you have Facebook, Instagram, see how they change in size. Instagram stories are longer. So you have a little bit more real estate for using those. LinkedIn is kind of like Facebook's and Twitter if you use it. So if you pick Facebook and you can do for sale, there's just listed things. You can do price updates. They have some that are already there for you. Now here are the neighborhood snaps. This is what you were talking about, Michael, right? That Bridget showed you?
Yes.
Okay. And you can use any kind of, you can use a neighborhood snap anywhere, but if you just want to send one in a Facebook page or even just use this as an image and use it somewhere else, just click on the use button to open it up. And you can change anything inside what's already there. So you can completely redo it, or you can change it. And the way we get to the neighborhood snaps is, here's the Barton Hills. It's the one that they always use as their go-to, their standard one. So if you click on it and you see all the edges here, you can change this by going to KWLS over here on the left-hand side, and you're going to search for snapshots. So look for a neighborhood. So Michael, tell me a neighborhood that you might be interested in showing somebody. Just name
Ocean
one.
Pines.
Ocean Pines. So you come up here and click in Ocean Pines. What town is Ocean Pines? Is that going to be?
Actually, the 21811 is the zip, but it covers like Berlin, Ocean Pines, several places. So.
All right, I'm going to say Ocean Pines, Berlin. Well, that's the, if Ocean, oh, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's that. There it is. You got to click around there and find it. So I'm going to replace this image. I have the little markers here. So I'm going to replace the image. That's the only time the replace image comes up, is if it's marked. If you don't have, if you're just looking at it and you haven't got it marked, it won't have a, like if you're not in there, it'll just only give you use as background or add as a new thing. You have to actually be on the little section that you want to change if you want to replace that particular section. So we're going to hit the replace button, and it automatically puts in all the information for Ocean Pines, as far as how many active listings, pending, days on market, square footage. And now if you're using this is a static thing. They pick it from today, so this is all the information that's available today. So if you wanted to use this image later, you'd have to pick it again if, the market changed and things will be different. So we can't use these if they don't dynamically change with the design that you're using. And let's say you want to change that picture, you can click on it over here. Get out. I'm going to click anywhere else outside of this. That's already done. I'm going to go up a little bit, scooch up, scooch up. All right. This thing is sometimes command gets a little lost in the weeds. Here we go. So if I want to click on this, that's clicking the whole image, this whole top piece up here. I just want to click this one here. Nope. That one. That's a background. But if I wanted to change, come on. It's repositioning, cancel. I didn't want to reposition. I just want to pick it. There we go. Now it's got its little section here. So if I want to grab another image, or if I want to add an image from my computer, then you can drag and drop an image from here. So this will make me go to my computer files, and I can look for an image in here Um, let's see, social images. Oh, that's not really one that I want to use, but let me see, libraries. Okay, buyers or sellers, let's say sellers, go back. I have some images in here under sellers that I can pick one. That isn't the one I would normally use, but and I actually didn't pick out the right one. It's all fuzzy, so I'm gonna get rid of it. That wasn't the greatest picture, but yeah, there it goes. Okay. So, but if you had another picture that it was a better depiction of the neighborhood or something, you can pull it up from your computer and stick it there. Here again, you want to change your logo because it's always going to have doing business as in here instead of your logo. So you want to go to logos and pull it out there. Let's pull out that one. Oops, I changed it in the wrong place. Delete. There we go. Logos. Replace. Let's say I want to put it there. Things are heating up. You can change the text. Now, the nice thing about when you get into the text and you have to double click to get out of that place where you expand it. This is all where your fonts and everything are up at the top. So these are all the fonts that they have available. If you want to add a new font, you'd have to add the file for it. You'd have to upload it in here. So let's say I want to do Oswald instead. And let's say I want to make it red. So now when you click on the box itself, then you can expand the print if you want to make it, if you want to expand the box or make it smaller. Looks like this has stops in it or something. Or you can put up your own text in here with add. You can add more text and just start typing. So you can change the size, you can move it around, you can do whatever you want. And you can underline or italicize, change the letter case, put bullet points in there, align the text. So if we wanted this thing to be, that text to be aligned, let's say centered instead of left justified, you do it there. So there's all your editing boxes up here. And if you click on this outside of your box, you click on this up here, you'll come to the space where you can add shapes, or you can you can draw something, like draw a line or do a path, or there's a pen tool here. But this is where we had the shapes before. So if you wanted to add another shape and put text in it, or you know, do something different with it, you can. So if I want to add a heart up here and, you know, make it smaller or something, change it to red. You know, there's lots of different things you can do. Just drag it all around, and if you don't like it, hit the delete button and away it goes. So that's something you can do with that. Now, there's also, if you wanted to do something, let me show you what we can do with, let's say I'm done with this one too. I'm not going to save it. Let's say you want to do something where you're doing a just listed. So I want to do something in print, let's say, for just listed, a postcard campaign going out to a neighborhood, let's say. So I'm going to do listings, just listed. I'm not going to do door hangers, but there are bifolds, trifolds, postcards, portrait, standard postcards. Let's do a standard postcard. And pick one of these, and then we can change it around. Or let's say I wanted to do a flyer. Let's do that, because then we can have some other pictures to choose from here. So let's see, let's pick this one. And this is where you can pick from your listings or any listings, and it'll upload the pictures over here that you can pick from, so you don't have to have them on your file on your computer to do it. Blink and you'll miss it, just listed. Okay, so we would probably like to, let's go to KWLS over here in the corner, and let's search for a listing. Let's say this is wind swept drive, Hillsborough. I'm going to hit the search button. 8206 is the one I want. Let's see. I don't know where mine went to. 8205, 8202. Where'd it go? It just starts with who the numbers, and it goes from there. That's an old one. That's not the one that I have now. Well, let's just pick one of them because I can't seem to find mine. You can also do it from MLS number. So you can put your MLS number in there and it'll pick it. So here it picks all the photos for that listing from the MLS and sticks them right in here. And there's also listing details in here. This one was sold, okay, and it was an apartment. There's a lot of different text pieces you can put in this section. Let's go back to the photos. And let's say we want to replace that photo right there with one of these. Let's just use that one, hit replace. And there it is. We'll go to each one in turn and hit do the replace button. And then go down here and find another one. That's a nice one here. Okay. And then you're going to want to replace, okay, the pictures, you know, that you don't want to have, that it definitely isn't you. So you want to change your to your pictures. And here again, if you have it selected, then you can hit the little replace icon and it'll show up in here. And you can change any of these little sections to download my app, the credentials, listed at, and then maybe we can come down here to KWLS again and go to listing details and pick this. Oops, it just popped it in there instead of doing the replace button thing here. So I'm going to delete that. Delete. Delete. I'm going to go here and look at it, and then I want to go here to, okay, there's a replace button here. So you see how that works? Then you can resize it. You're going to pick the different, you're going to go up here and pick the different, or the other text over here that you want to replace that with, and then resize it so it'll fit. And you're going to change this business down here, the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever that was. So we want to find that in here in the listing information. Although it's not, doesn't seem to be in here delineated that way. So I would just erase that and put my own stuff in here. Download my app. You're going to put your app link in here. It already has it in there if you want. And then, of course, you're changing your doing business as section down here too. And if you have a hard time grabbing something, sometimes it doesn't want to grab exactly right. There. Now it finally comes up. Go back to your logos, hit your doing business as replacement thing, and it'll pop it in. You can stick it in and resize it. So that lets you know that that's how you actually pull in photographs that you have for a listing and you want to do just listed or just sold or anything like that and send out information. So that kind of helps you. There's also a frames section in here. I haven't fooled around with the frames too much. There's another text. You can pull text from up here and just add new text, body text or whatever. If you click body text, it's always going to bring it up in the middle of the page. So you have to kind of move it around. If you don't want to do, there's another section of text up here that I wanted to show you. If you want to add text, you can add a text block down here. And when you put in a text block, it puts in a text block that is, it's a Latin text block, and you can change the text that's in it. Okay, so if I wanted to, let's say fill color. If I wanted to make it white, if I wanted to make it a different color, red, you can do that too. Doesn't going to really show up that well. But I've used this in another way. So what you could do is if you wanted to add a shape, scooch up here and stick a shape in here again, like that. And make the shape, let's make the shape white. I'm going to put a shape here and make it bigger. Doesn't really fit in here for what I'm going to do. You can't drag that up here because it goes behind it. So I'm just going to delete that and add another text box and stick it in the shape. So I'm going to say text block. And then I can, put it into the shape and make it say whatever I want it to say. So you can add the shapes first and then put your text over top of it. That works best. But that little section is translucent unless you put an image behind, a shape behind it and color it. And then you can type in whatever you want to type in. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what you can do with text blocks. In addition to title, subtitle, body text, it gives you a basic size, and then you can do whatever you want with it, manipulate it any way you want, and change anything you want to. So that gives you an idea for those. At least it's it's a way to get your, and it could be any listing. It could be a just sold. It could be listings that you wanted to advertise that were somebody else's that you wanted to bring buyers for. So when you use the KWLS little section, when that comes up, then that's how you can either do it with and this it can kind of get lost if you go up and down the scroll buttons over here. Sometimes it's hard to see, but there's the MLS number. We can go back, we can pick another listing. So the listings are, when you put the number in, it just picks the number, it just every listing that's active or any listing at all shows up. So you have to kind of hunt for your listing unless you're going to put an MLS number in there. And then it'll be a little easier to find if it was the right MLS number. It also has, we also have icons over here you can add. So if you wanted to, put a little telephone icon in here next to your number. Oops, that's the wrong one. Undo. To find it, where'd it go? There it is. So you can resize this stick it up here next to your phone number or whatever. If you wanted to use icons, you can. So there's text, icons, logos, and then there's company stuff, as well as, whoops. There's my library, there's company, app images, lifestyle activities. So there's a whole lot of little stock images here you can use, so you don't have to, get stuck for something. But if it's fun to go through here and poke around through all the different. And if you wanted to add one, you can add it from a Facebook page or Google Drive or Dropbox, or you can add something from, or you can extract it from a PDF. I haven't found that to be too helpful, but if you dragged an image or put one in here from one of your files on your computer, you have a lot of options. So it's really, really pretty well drag and drop technology, which is pretty nice. And then when you're done, no, I don't want to save this one. Then you're done. Does anybody have any questions on what I've done so far, or something they want to do that I haven't shown you yet?
I have just a quick question. I don't know, I missed a little bit because I had to step away for a minute, but is there, like on a social media ad, like Facebook, Twitter, whatever, is there a way to make it clickable or add a link to website or something like that, or to the app?
You mean if you're using a design?
So if you actually create let's say you're making one for your, to check out my app, something like that. Can you make it clickable where it actually takes them to your, like on their phone, it takes them right to your app?
In a Facebook post?
But, yeah, I mean,
because you don't, in a Facebook post, you can't make an image clickable, but you can put a link in the Facebook itself to it.
Okay, so can you do that from design, or do you have to do that after you?
You would do that from Facebook.
From Facebook. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
So yeah, if I have something in here, like, if I had something I was going to post, let me go to my home one. And I say I wanted to add a link to something in here. If I added a link, you'd have to add a link in here to the actual text of your thing, because you can't make this particular thing clickable.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a way to make it in design where you can add a link, and then when it's brought over, it's
automatically linked. I haven't seen that, but let me poke around.
Yeah, I was looking through to see if there's a way to add it. I don't see anything. I didn't know if there was a secret.
I haven't. Usually, if there's a link, if you want to make something clickable, there should be a link thing in the top where when you're doing it.
Right. That's what I was looking for. I didn't see that at all. So.
Yeah. Because if I'm clicking on anything else and I do social and hit next, I'm going to look for it. But yeah, I haven't had much luck with making an image clickable. If you're doing something in a web page and you want to make it clickable, your website software, if you're using WordPress, and you have a little bit of HTML background, then you can make an image clickable.
Okay.
But that's that's not in design itself.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. So if I wanted to use this, for example, there's not anything I can see on here. Let me just open it and be real sure. So if I click on the image, there is nothing in here that lets me edit it into or add a link.
Okay.
Or there's transform, there's arrange, there's that kind of thing, and there's trash, but there's not really anything that lets you put a link to it. It's just manipulating images completely, and that's all it is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be.
But you could add it later. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to add it later in your website somewhere if you want to do it.
Okay.
That way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions about where to? Let me go back up here to KW or to command. Just get out of designs. Oops. Okay. going to go back into command. I'll show you where your marketing profile is. So you can add, you can change that. That's where you kind of start. So when you're in command and you go up here to your name, you go to settings, command settings, no, connect settings, it's connect settings, marketing profile. And then here's where you upload your team logo, your photos, you edit your information down here. This says use my information to brand my agent site. So you can toggle that on or off if you're doing, there's also a marketing profile Kelly guide up here you can use. But all the things with red asterisks are required, but I would put anything that you can put in here. So if you have designated credentials, you want to change your bio. Some of the things that happen if you're doing landing pages, like you're doing a landing page for a property, a standalone one, their bio is going to pull in this, but it's too big for the landing page. It tells you in the landing page you can only have 250 characters for your bio. So you have to go in there and adjust it. But make sure your numbers are the way you need to have them, your email, your website, if you have an outside website, your market center logo, all that stuff. So this is where you change any of that. And your legal footer for your website, I put in each office is independently owned and operated, and the Delaware, like the CIS information down here with a link in it. And then here's where you can add your social links so people can get a hold of you on whatever social you have. So, and if you do pixel ads and things like that, you'd put your pixel ID here, your Google Analytics ID, your branded KW app link. And I don't think this is right. I think my app link is, if I click on this and copy it and put it up here, I think it doesn't go to the right place. I think I had to change it. Maybe, maybe not. Nope, it's right. So it puts your branded app that's where you get it. So you can grab that link and put that into your designs, and it puts all that information in here for you. And it also has the movie for the KW app in here. This is kind of neat. So the movie for that is really awesome. It's long, but it's an awesome movie they put up. So that's where all that stuff is. Let's go back to KW Connect. So the general settings, we're in my marketing profile. That's the Connect settings. But the general settings, where is it? Command settings. Shows you your applications that are connected. So you can see what's in there that you have connected already, and add more if you need to. But as far as design goes, what else can I show you that you have a question about in design? If you've been playing with something that you had a hard time with, or anybody? I will show you this little bit, and I'll put it into the, let me add it into the chat room if I can do that. Let's see. There's a link to a really good video on how to do a landing page, a standalone landing page that Nick Baldwin does. And let me see where I am in the command thing. More chat. So in the chat room, I'm going to put this link to his video. Copy. Okay. And that's something that you can take a look at, but I'll show it to you. I'll show you the beginning of it anyway, because I thought it was a pretty good tutorial. I wanted to do a landing page for my my new listing. So if you go down here to consumer, landing pages, and this is drag and drop too, which is kind of nice. You want to do create a new site. And instead of on my agent site, we want to do a standalone page. Click that and click create page. And then here's where you're going to be adding widgets to the page. And so all these widgets over here, agent branding, branded header, lead form, that kind of thing, marketing snap, listing. First thing I want to do is add a listing. So you drag these things over into this section and dump them. And here's the listing, their default listing. You're going to change this later. But at the bottom of, you're going to add, it's going to have all kinds of information about the property, you know, pictures and everything. Is going to be really awesome. So hang on a second. Just undid something. So let's say I want to add something else. Reload this stupid thing because it didn't work. Sometimes it's a little temperamental. I'm going to say listing. Bring it over. Okay, next thing I wanted to add is a market snap. Okay, so I'm going to grab this little widget here. I'm going to pull it down to the bottom of that one. It actually put it in above it, which is not what I wanted. But it puts in a marketing snap. And you're going to change that too, you know, as you go on. You can configure the widgets later. Let's see if I can go down here. There's a map and everything. So I want to come down and do, let's say I want to put a video in that I have, then I can come down here to the bottom of below where everything else was, supposedly, and it'll go in there. Put it in the bottom. If it went. Well, it didn't go. Naturally, it didn't go. Download my app. You can put that down here too. If you're dragging and dropping it, it'll put things in an order in here. And then you can go in and configure them. So if you configure your widgets, we're going to browse listings to pull the listing in. I'm going to search again, try to find mine. There's mine. And it's going to pick up all the listing pictures here. So let's say I didn't want to use the, well, I'll go ahead and use that one and say change listing. Oh. Search, select, save and apply. And then you'll see the magic happen. Well, the neighborhood is still the neighborhood, but the listing is now changed. So it has all the major hero picture. It has all the pictures inside the listing, all the information about it. You can scroll through the pictures and see how pretty they are. And it also has a neighborhood map, all that good stuff. So you can play with that. I would get with get on Nick Baldwin's link and go through it step by step. Pause him every so often, and he'll take you all the way through creating this landing page, which is awesome. And then when you publish the page, then it'll be a standalone page that you can link to all of your from all of your social things. If you want to put it up to a blog or wherever, you have a specified landing page that you can put customers to when you're doing your Facebook ads. So they always go to that particular landing page. And you can put a lead form in here also. So that's one of the widgets that was over here. And I'm going to say save and apply. It did it already. But here, the same thing. If you go to, this is at the listing. If there's a little thing here that you can go through the widgets, and I already had a video added to the bottom, but the market snap, if you want to change that, you can put the header text in here. Welcome to the peninsula, and the zip code is 19966, I think. And it's the peninsula. It's peninsula. So if I can find that, peninsula at Long Neck. Here you go. Save and apply. So it automatically changes the Barton Hills thing to my welcome to the peninsula with all the stats and everything. So you always come up here to where your widgets are, and you can configure all of them. So if you click the download my app, it has my code in here already. The button redirect URL. And if you want the button text to say download app there, and so that's already configured. So if somebody clicks on that, and then when you put the thing about videos is you can either upload a video or have a video URL. I'm not sure they'll take you. I don't think it'll be a YouTube type thing as far as configuring the video. There are only certain video URL sources that they'll take, and I haven't done the research on that yet. But if you downloaded a video that you did, you can upload it here, and then it'll show up in your section here. So it gives you an idea. So you can pick more widgets if you wanted to. I like the landing or the lead form at the end. If you want to put something at the end, a lead form is a good one. Or you can do your local expert, which is a little bio about you. Well, here's a lead form. Let's drag it down here. And you can configure the lead form also. Instead of saying what it says, this thing is a little weird. Here it is. Interested, let's talk. So if you'd rather not have it not say that, if you want to configure the widget, then if you want to configure the lead form, you can put different text in here. I wouldn't say interested in a tour, but say save and apply. So it'll change the header to what I just changed it to. Of course, it goes back to where did it go? Went back to the top of the thing. So if you click down to the bottom where this is, interested in DE properties. So yeah, drag it, drop it, configure them down here, save and apply, and then publish page. So that's a good thing to try too. But in designs, there are so many different things you can do. It just, whether you want to send out something in print. Now I will show you the print section. Let me go back and show you that real quick.
Okay, April, as you're going back there, may I ask a question? This is Karen. So I know you'd mentioned the videos. Where do you research what videos are allowed? For example, we tried to use our Weebly site, and it wouldn't accept that. So just trying to figure out where it does list what platforms you can use.
I don't have that information off the top of my head.
Okay.
As to where you find it. There is a section somewhere that lists the different places of video that they that they will use. No, maybe I'm thinking of Bright. Never mind.
Well, and so that's kind of our dilemma. So we know that Bright has changed their rules recently because of the pandemic, where they're now allowing YouTube and Vimeo. We used to use Vimeo, but then they didn't allow it. So that's why we went to Weebly. So it's like, if Bright will continue forever using YouTube and Vimeo, then maybe we can just stay there, you know.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right, but we're just trying to figure out, so you're not putting it in multiple platforms.
No, but I think maybe a good place to ask Sandy Green, if you want to talk to her. She has, you can go on her Calendly and get a 30-minute one-on-one with her, and she can maybe update you on that. There's another Facebook page called Command Your Conversions. And that's where Nick Baldwin and several others have all kinds of good information on what you can, experimenting around with Command.
Right. And that was Command and Conversions?
Command Your Conversions.
Command Your Conversions. Okay.
Let me pull it up here, and then I'll get you the thing for it. This screen sharing thing is bothering me.
Okay.
Let me pull it up into here. Facebook. It's a group.
Okay.
And it's called, and there's Nick Baldwin, Command Your Conversion. That's it.
Okay.
It's a private group, so you can ask to be.
I asked to join.
Asked to join, yeah. And then they have, if you just scroll down, there's all kinds of questions. Here's that enhancing your listings video I was telling you about that I gave you the link for. So ask a question, and then people ask in there all the time, where do you find out which video formats are acceptable in Command?
Right.
That type of thing.
Okay.
Another good resource is Scott Leroy Marketing.
Yeah.
So they can sometimes tell you too, because they're working in this all the time and then doing it for people. So if you want them to configure your website and all that kind of thing, they'll help you with that. Oh yeah, I was going to show you one more thing on, I don't want to do, leave. I want to go back to designs and show you when you're doing something in print and you want to download it. I'll just look at one of mine and I'll show you where it is. It takes it a few minutes sometimes to do its thing. My designs. I have a listing presentation here, and I'll show you that. Click on it and open it. If you haven't done a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, it'd be a good idea to come in and do that in design. They have one, and you can edit it, and I did that with this one. I edited the template. So it's because it was a zillion pages, but I got it down to whatever I wanted. And then I just changed the name and the picture, and I don't have to change the whole thing. So it's helpful to have something like that you can download. So if I'm going to download it, I'm going to download it as a PDF, okay? Because that's the only way. If you've got something in several pages, you can't download it as a JPEG. It's got to be a PDF as a document. And it's telling me ideal for documents printing, right? All designs, current design, download in range. All designs means it's the whole design of what you've got here, however many pages you have. But you can go to download in range, and if you don't want some of these pages, you could download a section of them. So I have some in the front that I don't need, and I can just come down here and change, from which page to which page that I want to print. And don't do standard web quality unless you're just sending it online. Do high resolution print quality. Okay, and then start download. And it'll download it over here on your left-hand side. Then you can, rename it and put it where you need to. But that's the difference. And it'll automatically default to JPEG when you're downloading something, but there's just, and a PNG is a high quality image for a transparent background if you wanted to do something like that and, work with it some more. But JPEG for social is pretty good. And then PDF for any of your print stuff that you want so that you can get a high resolution print quality in a PDF that you can then take to a printer, or you can print it at the office and bind it there or whatever you want to do.
So then if you go and make like a postcard,
Mm-hmm.
then what do you do about getting it printed? What options are you aware of?
If you've downloaded it as a PDF,
Mm-hmm.
you can take it to Staples. You can send it to whatever printer you want. As long as it's a print quality PDF, then they can print it for you. Or you can print it on your own computer. So people sometimes will take the postcards to Vistaprint or someplace like that, depending on what they want to do. There are also, we just found out that we can also have things printed for us via the KW Market Center.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So if you saw that, that's another option outside of designs, outside of command. Right. And they'll design a thing for you, mail it, the whole 9 yards. So, and for a certain price.
Right. And
then Dawn Reynolds creates them. She's created designs for me before through my KW marketing. So she's done postcards for me before and had them mailed or had them printed, and then we mailed them. So she's pretty familiar with it. And then it gets billed to you in your account. You get an invoice for it. But it's really, really cost effective. And so they have packages of postcards and brochures for new listings. I just did one, and I'm their guinea pig this week for something that I did for the windswept listing that I have. So that's kind of, if it's a hands-off kind of thing for you, you don't have to do anything except, approve the design, and then, have it changed around. Make sure you get it all approved, and then once you do, I think it's 24-hour turnaround as far as when they ship it.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, April, do you have to provide the addresses, or you just give them a neighborhood, or what?
You give them a neighborhood.
Okay.
Or you tell them I want the DC zip code.
Okay.
Depends on what your market is. So this one I did just listed, and I did it to the whole peninsula neighborhood. So I said, just get the peninsula ones from the MLS. So Dawn does that. She'll pull that list for you, and then it'll, go through and be deduped and all that kind of thing.
That's even better. Okay, great.
Yeah. So she's done neighborhood things for me for Angola, where I live, and I've mailed them myself, which was a pain in the butt because we do have a bulk. KW has a bulk permit. So if you wanted to do a bulk mailing, it does save you some money, but then you have to actually print the labels. I mean, they'll label the addresses, but you have to print the indicia for the postage, and then fill out the postage thing, take it to the post office in Rehoboth, and go through all the rigmarole of doing that. But it saves you, it depends on the size of your list, but it could save you, quite a bit of money if you're mailing out to 1,000 people. Because I think their postcard rate at the My Marketing Center is 68 cents or 65 cents, and that includes postage and everything, which I find to be very, very cost effective, because a lot of times you're doing it yourself. You're spending $1 a postcard to get it mailed.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's first class, but I think it might be. But anyway, those are kind of options for you. And I would just play around with this. There's also another place where you can go on, and I'll show you where that is, to get more videos on how to do things, little short videos on all things command. And it is in my KW. So let me pull up my KW. And I'll show you where that is. In education, You click on the education button. And there's a little search button up here, this little, magnifying glass. And it's hashtag how-to video. Okay? Hashtag how-to video. And then if you hit the search button, it gives you all these videos and how to do all kinds of stuff in Command. How to create a task, how to edit your goals, how to add contacts, how to add contacts to a smart plan. And there's pages of them. How to do quick post featuring KW app commercial, a social quick post, that's a good one. And that's a good one to put up on Facebook or something. How to create a neighborhood smart video social post. There's a bunch of them in here. So I would poke around in here when you have spare time. Because that's a really good resource for short. How to add a hero image to your agent site. How to create a hero image for your agent site. So there's a bunch of them. And that's in your My KW under education. And it's hashtag how-to video. So that's kind of a cool thing to know. Anything else I can show you in designs right now, or are your heads full? Oh, I want to show you one more thing. If you have trouble with Command designs, you can't get in it or it's giving you issues, there's another place you can go to get into design, and sometimes it's easier to work in, and it's called kw.webrand.com. WeBrand is the platform they use to do things in Command. And I had issues getting into the Command site yesterday. I could not get into it. It kept giving me errors whenever I'd start to do something. And it's already has my name in here. So I can choose a template. I can update my profile, that type of thing. But I was able to get into Command through this and get to templates, pull up template apps and work in it through this platform outside of designs. So it's a little bit different the way that it handles it. But you can create a listing presentation. You can go to do the for sale and, Facebook, Instagram stories, that whole thing. It's just a little different way to look at it and get into it and work it. So if you have problems, you can go to that one. But today it seems to be working. I think they must have been working in Command yesterday, and that was why I couldn't get it to come up before. So usually though, you should be able to get into it through your Command login. And then go to designs and go in there and work it. Now, sometimes, I'm pretty bad at this, but Sandy's always after me. She says, why aren't you in incognito? Or sometimes we're supposed to be going to get into incognito window if you're having an issue and something's glitchy. You can do a new incognito window and sign into agent.kw.com. It's another way to get into Command. And that's supposed to bypass some of if they're working in Command and it's being glitchy, sometimes it'll bypass that. So that's another way to get into it in an incognito window. And it's supposed to work the same. But yesterday I had issues for a couple hours and it frustrated me. And then I went into the Command Your Conversions website and other people were having the same issues, which was nice to know. And somebody came up with that workaround. Go to the WeBrand.com, kw.webrand.com, and work in it from there. So if you're under a time crunch and Command is giving you issues, you can get into design through the WeBrand website. It used to be that it would take you to the WeBrand website and then take you back into Command. It was kind of jumpy, when they first created it. So, but there you go. So, and there is emails. They do have an email section where you can get in here and create a newsletter email template. It's really blank and it takes a while to get used to. You just blank and it has widgets on the right hand side. You pull them over, kind of like the landing page, where you can have a title page, you can have some other things, and create your email in sections. But I couldn't use it because I don't use MailChimp, and it makes you use those templates, HTML templates, in a, like VS Constant Contact or MailChimp. It would make you use those. But what I've done for specific emails is I've created a smart plan, and a one-off smart plan, and then created an email for that to mail out to people. Let's say I wanted to mail just to this neighborhood this one time, this one thing. Then I created an email in the smart plan and then put it in there, and then added people to it from my contacts. So they got that one email bulk for however many people I wanted to add it to. But it's a little problematic right now, but I think it's, you know, as they get moving with this and things get more and more solid, then we'll have more capability that's easier. Right now we have to kind of work around things a little bit, but it's pretty easy in designs to create stuff on the fly and share it socially or have it printed, I think. And it's either you want, if you're really techie and you want to do it yourself, then you can create a blank one, or if you're if you'd rather just have something you can drag and drop and use a template, and then you can change everything about the template that you want. It's just a matter of, you know, getting in there and playing with it. There's also a little neighborhood snaps video thing you can do. There's only one. And the way we did it before is if I want to create a new one, yes, I accept the cookies. If I want to create one of those videos, I go to video and I'll show you what it looks like. You select the neighborhood that you want. You want to do the Ocean Pines, Berlin, Maryland, and search Ocean Pines. Next. It gives you the neighborhood information. It says average home prices are on the rise. You can change this if you find that information, like say, you know, holding steady or something. There's different ways. Holding steady, on the decline, whatever. But this is what pops up from today's things. And neighborhood features are what people have said about it. There's your agent information. You can change that if you need any brokerage information, you can change that. And then if you click next, it'll generate this video. And it's kind of a cute little neighborhood snaps video. So you can use those for social posts, or you can stick it on your blog or something like that. But it's only for the right now, you know, it's only the current information. It kind of puts it up at a neat little graphic stuff that's kind of fun. A little plug for your app. There you go, and it's branded to you. So, where am I now? Oops. So that's a little something else you could do. They're probably going to create more of these guys. Some people don't like the colors necessarily, but there are lots and lots of things you can choose from in templates. Just remember, you have to come down here to create anything. You got to hit the plus button and then go from there. And it'll take you to the templates. You can pick your, you know, from your designs or templates, or a clean slate and start something new. I hope I helped you a little bit trying to figure this stuff out.
Thanks, April.
Sure. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me or give me a call, or book a time with Sandy if you have a question on a specific thing. You're stuck on something, you need 30 minutes of one-on-one help. She's got her calendar open for anybody to do one-on-ones for anything command, whether it's designs or transactions or anything. And we'll keep doing these. They're gonna, we've got them. Tuesday is I think Tuesdays is Frank on command commissions opportunities, and then Wednesdays is Brad's 101 from soup to nuts, and then Thursdays is me, and then Sandy has classes over there in Bethany too, and she also does the her one-on-ones. So we'll be working this for the foreseeable future.
Right. And I thought they were talking about doing kind of like the next level command for people.
Yes, there will be advanced classes too for different things. So stay tuned for that. I don't think we have all those things together yet.
Okay.
There are certain aspects that we haven't talked about, like smart plans and things like that. Those are going to be pretty essential. So there's a lot of stuff we'll be going through, campaigns, that type of thing.
Right.
And if you've taken the Command 101 class, or the other classes for commissions and that one, then there's also a PDF of a PowerPoint that we put together for all the instruction and it's all screenshots of every screenshot from you do this next, this next, this next, for everything from contacts all the way through commissions. And those will be emailed out to people and I still have to make some changes to the newest changes to it, a few pages, and then we'll be mailing it out again. But that's a constantly flowing thing. If you have it, then there are going to be changes to it. So we'll be emailing that out again later once I get those changes put up. Brad is lighting a fire under me.
Right. I've got a copy of that, and as well as, some of the updates for the commissions and stuff. But for DocuSign, one of the things I really want is, how do you organize your DocuSign folders and stuff? And when you're negotiating back and forth, what's the best way to kind of keep it all straight? Okay.
Yeah, that's something we can definitely show you. Because in opportunities, that's the one, when you're talking to Frank, he can probably tell you how to do that too. Because there is a place in DocuSign where you can create folders and you can adjust them. You can move them up and down within your room. So you can add folders in your room, and then you can add things to the folder so you can keep it all separate. So you can have a folder for documents that are just documents. You can have a folder for offers. You can label them, offer 1, offer 2, that type of thing. So, there are ways to get in there and manipulate that. So they're not all just in one folder.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, when you're doing the opportunities section of DocuSign, you're making an opportunity section that just sits the opportunities. You can create 1 or 2, however, if you got a multiple offer scenario and you've got several, then you can create different ones. And then there's a step-by-step walk you through how to create an opportunity, not an opportunity, an offer. Okay. And then once you accept an offer, once you've got your offer selected that you want to accept, and you've accepted it, then you can see the commissions button. So you can get into commissions. But Frank's teaching that on Tuesdays. Right. Unless we change the dates because of whatever. But keep in touch with the calendar. We always update the calendar first of the month, so we have things kind of squared away.
Okay.
As far as teaching classes. Sure. Thanks a lot, guys.